buy a professional bike because you're talking about seconds and minutes matter. I have a bike that I'm shaving off right now, 2 miles per hour. It's Pinarello. It's pretty much Bugatti in bikes world.
Okay, I get it. You hurt my feelings. I get it. I got it. Okay, because I felt good about myself. I dropped like 20, 25 pounds, and you're trying to tell me that you're still not Olympic ready. I get it. I got it.
I mean, it's still good. No, I mean, it's amazing, man.
It is amazing. So anyway, we're here. We're live. Borderline Inappropriate. I've changed the venue. Usually we're down in the laboratory where it's darker, but you know what? Quarantine's over. So now it's time to, summer's here. Pink colors, feeling good. You got to get ready. A little bit of linen. And today I got a real special guest, one of my friends. I got Saul Z, right? We always go by Z because we know saying the last name is a little complicated. And I understand that. So we go with the Z team. Saul's right here. We're going to talk about a bunch of things. Talk about business, but more importantly, we're going to talk about health. We're going to talk about mind, health, and business because this man does Ironmans. And I don't know if anybody knows what an Ironman is, but it's basically a race for people that have a death wish. You're out there and I can't even imagine. So he was kind of teasing me as we were going live here because I thought I had something. I was like, okay, I got a Peloton and I do the Peloton every day and I'm addicted to the Peloton and it works. There's results. There's no doubt. And this man says that doesn't even compete with the kind of bike that he has. So please, Saul, by all means, introduce yourself and tell me what bike don't I have?
Oh, wait, can you say what bike you don't have?
Yeah, what bike? What am I missing here? Because apparently a Peloton's a toy.
Well, Peloton is a toy. I think it's a good thing. It's a very good machine for increasing your cardio. But if you really want to get in cycling and start counting your minutes, seconds, watts, and exactly try to achieve those benchmarks and start getting better, close to kind of what the pros do, you just have to go with a professional cycling bike with all bells and whistles and yeah, there's a bunch of them. I have a Pinarello bike, which is the Italian bike. It's custom made. That are, but
what does something like that cost? What does something like that cost?
I mean,
okay, just a range. So
yeah,
range. What's a range?
Range. I mean, it's in teens or like it's in it goes up to like $20,000. I mean. Yeah, it gets expensive, but it definitely in cycling you definitely can buy speed.
Oh, I bet.
You definitely can buy speed.
I bet. So for those that do know Saul is well respected. He's very, very successful in what he does, but he is very reclusive. Like the fact that I threw the line into Saul and he took it, I was like, yes. I like when Saul comes out of his shell, and I can get him out of his shell. Yeah. That way. So he says he's spending in the teens. Doesn't want to say what. Fair enough. Sounds like a very expensive bike. Are those bikes extremely light? Like, are they made of different material?
They're super light. I can't tell exactly the way. I don't remember right now, but that's one of the lightest bikes probably that's being produced. You literally just barely feel the weight. Obviously carbon fiber. There's I'd say the wheels are based on well-skinned technology with aerodynamics and stuff like that. It gets to the extreme science over there,
No kidding. So how many Ironmans have you participated in to this day?
I've done 5 Ironmans. I have done only one full Ironman, which is I've done in New Zealand about 3 months ago. That was my first full. Took me 14 hours, and I've done a bunch of halves, which is 70.3 miles. Okay. So whoever doesn't know, so full Ironman is 146 miles, and half is 70 miles, 0.3. So if we're talking about half, you swim 1.2 miles, you bike 56 miles, and at the end you're gonna have a half a marathon. And for the full Ironman, you swim 2.4 miles. You bike 112 miles, and then at the end you're gonna have a full marathon, and that's pretty much nonstop. Yeah, you have 2 transitions, but you just go.
Dude, I'd be dead on the side of the road. No, there's no question. Like I would have made peace with God early. I'd be like, good, let's go. This is the way I'm going out. How do you? I have a million questions. Okay, so back in the day, I would talk to Saul, and I'd hear him out of breath. This guy would be jogging miles in the morning, having a meeting with me. And I can't even talk and eat at the same time, let alone jog. Yeah. So What's the regimen for that? Because you've got to work. You've got an operation. You got a major enterprise to run. How does we're going to get into this? How does your training? Because you have to give that 100%. You can't. There's no 99. You have to give 100%. You got to give your business 100%. How do you manage that?
Well, so if we talk hours, I think for the training, it takes between 15 and 20 hours to train a week, right? So that's how many hours. So you just become very efficient. So my bike and run is always straight from the home, meaning I bike, I don't go to the gym to run. I don't go to bike somewhere else. No, I bike from my home. So the only swimming, what I do, I go to Lifetime. And it's pretty much every single day, 7 days a week. And in Ironman, the most important thing is recovery. So meaning you have to as much training as much your body can recover. So you're training every single day. Just to give you let's say like during the weekdays, Monday to Friday, it's probably between like an hour and 2 hours of training. It's 1 or 2 trainings a day. So let's say so let's say today I run 6 miles, I'll still bike maybe another 20, 30 miles in the evening. And during the weekdays, that's long training. And that's between 2.5 and 4 hours of training over the weekend. And that could be, let's say, running the marathon in the morning, or you could do
just going to run a marathon in the morning. I'll be late to breakfast. I'll be right there.
Yeah. Yeah. So, but really, in reality, anyone can do it. The most difficult part, of course, is just sustain the training and recover. So let's say in terms of recovery, I do cryotherapies, I do ice baths, probably 2-3 times a week. I do an ice bath for 5 to 10 minutes. I do cryotherapy once or twice a week.
Do you have a lot of this at home, or do you actually go to a facility for this?
So, cryotherapy, I go to the facility. It's like 5 minutes away from me. But ice baths, actually, my kids do it too. So ice bath, I just go and grab three 20 bags of ice, and I just do an ice bath. Anyway, I do a bunch of supplements. I do a lot of amino acids and. I have obviously a trainer. He's a professional coach. I have a nutritionist, and you just track your body like a machine. Meaning, my coach, he's tracking exactly what I eat. I do it through FitnessPal.
So you do have a coach.
Yeah, I do have a coach for a training coach. He's in Orlando, but he sets up my training to Training Peaks. And he sees my calorie intake through FitnessPal.
Sure.
And also I have a nutrition coach through MedPro. That's another app. It's like $500 a month. So in a sense, you have to, and I do a blood test every 2 weeks, every 2 months. So
it's interesting because there's a lot of this I can relate to. I played baseball till I was 30. Yeah. And there was a whole different lifestyle of working out. I mean, your life was working out. Everything else came secondary. Yeah. And there was a certain amount of calorie intake that I needed to take in every day because there's a certain amount that I was burning. Yeah. How many calories a day do you take in?
So 2,500 calories a day. That's without my 25 calories, not counting my workout. But let's say my workouts, they're connected to Garmin Connect through the watch and through. So let's say if I do bike, like let's say 2,000 calories. Let's say I burn on the bike 2,000 calories. So that day I'll consume 4,500 calories. So let's say 2,500 calories are without me working out. And if my workout less than an hour and a half, I don't add those 700 calories. But let's say if my workout over an hour and a half, and if I add additional, like let's say 1,000 calories or 1,200 calories, then I add on those 2,500 calories that I consume extra. So usually I consume more. I consume a lot over the weekend, let's say, because tomorrow I'm going to burn probably additional 2,500 calories. So my consumption tomorrow is going to be like about 5,000 calories. But today was light workout. I'll be around like 2,500 calories.
Incredible how you got your body regimen like that. That's incredible. But it takes a long time. Bodies have to get used to that type of thing. Yeah. All the time you dedicate to health and training because you have to. How many hours a week are you actually dedicating to your craft, which is what you do, right? And explain to everybody what it is that you do, because I know it's demanding. What we do is demanding.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah. So, I still work half a day, which is 12 hours, uh, which is 12 hours a day. People ask how
I don't
long
even know
do
what
you
to
work? I
say to
work half a
that.
day,
I don't
12
know what to
hours.
say to that.
Yeah. And, workout,
Wow.
like 2 hours a day. It really, I think I changed my perspective that, it was back in the day, I wanted to be just lifestyle, business, but I learned to like what I do. And I do like what I do.
Sure.
And, I'm pretty much, thinking about business, for the most part, and unless with my family, then I don't have those nine to
Right.
fives. Sometimes I have weeks or months, like during the last 3 months, so I have to plow a lot. And
Yep.
now with the release, my motto is that we go out with the family. Let's say every quarter we go out at least for a week or so. Let's say
Good.
if I go
Good.
on Ironman trips, no, I take my
I've seen
kids
your
with
kids
me.
on the
Yeah.
pictures. Yeah. No, I think it's important. I mean, I totally get it, man. I mean, when you're an entrepreneur and it's yours and you're passionate, and you actually really enjoy what you do. There's no time on it because
No.
you're just on 24/7. And if you were to put a time on it, you look back and go, "Shit, I worked all day.
Yeah.
It's all day. I might have
Yeah.
taken an hour away in the morning and 2 hours in the afternoon, but I was up at night doing it again when the kids go to bed." It's what you do. So the last
Exactly.
3 months, man, last 3 months, no bullshit. Were you down? Were you up? Did you pivot?
Yeah. So before I jump on that, I think I forgot to add one thing. You
Go
asked,
ahead. Go
the
ahead.
question was, like, so when do you have time for all of this? So
Yes. Yes.
looking back, really, even right now, I see, let's say after the race, right? I would just take it easy, let's say for a month, don't train that much. I see that my RPMs overall, my productivity and my force in what I do is decreasing. Let's say even let's say I spend 2 hours a day of my working out. When I have those moments when I'm in a peak physical state, everything else, what has to get done like in 8 hours gets done in 6 hours. So
Gotcha.
meaning I don't see that when I'm spending like 15 to 20 hours a week on my training, I don't think it affects my business or family life. Meaning, yeah, I mean, when you're running the Ironman, no, technically your family is running Ironman too,
Yeah.
but I just have more energy. I just have more energy to do everything else. I'm just faster
Well, it's
and
funny because let's go with that. I mean, we could talk
yeah,
business all day long, but let's go with that because I find that fascinating because that's you have there's three major passions in your life: your family, your business, and your health. Right? Your
yeah,
Ironman's the way you operate.
yeah,
That is a life. That's 24/7,
yeah,
365.
correct.
The dedication you have. I don't think a lot of entrepreneurs can even balance, let alone being an entrepreneur in family life, let alone try to take care of themselves and compete at the highest
Hmm.
levels. I mean, you're competing at the highest levels. Now, do you think that your mindset in business, because obviously your mindset in business is the same, I know you, it's the same in
Yeah.
competing. Which one translates better? Was it the fact that you love to compete in the sports world that brought you into business with that sharp mind, or was it the sharp minded business that made you just competitive as hell?
I think I was competitive as hell since I was a child. Back when when I was 18, 16, I played rugby, but yeah, I think my competitiveness in sports transitioned into the business. And as a matter of fact, anytime I push the limit right now, I can correlate my breakthroughs in business, because anytime I decide, okay, I'm gonna do marathon, I'm gonna do an Ironman, I'm gonna do full Ironman,
Mm,
there's a certain amount of dedication, and actually, I was able to pinpoint my breakthroughs in business when you jump on some other venture or big risk and actually go through it. So I really think that all the goals or
mm.
accomplishments in sports definitely transitioned eventually into the business, because that's a mind game. Really, anyone can do it, as long as he can sustain the scheduled training, and eventually body's ready. Eventually body's ready. When you say you can do it, you can. You just have to go through hell for the first 6 months.
And that's actually all here. That's
Yeah,
all mental. Get through
it's
that,
all
and
mental.
your body will respond. It will.
I
Your
mean,
body will respond.
even the world champions, they go through the same walls. Maybe they don't have
Yeah.
10 walls, but they have three to five walls during the race when they say, "Fuck that, I'm not gonna do it. Why
Right.
I'm
Right.
doing it,"
Right. Right. Right.
and
No,
you still have to
100%.
go through it.
We've all been there when the legs want to give out.
Yeah,
Like you wouldn't believe.
yeah,
We've all been there when the lungs, you feel like they're going to explode, but they don't.
yeah.
It's all here. So
Yep.
when do you sleep? I mean, how much sleep do you get on average?
I sleep in average 6 to 7 hours.
That's pretty good, given your
Yeah.
regimen.
Sometimes probably 8 hours, but I would say like 6 to 7 hours.
Yeah.
I don't drink alcohol at all. I'm trying to
Ever or
consume.
during training? Which sounds like
No,
you're always in
well,
training anyway. So
yeah. So my last drink was in November. So it has been what, like 6 months.
damn, must have been Thanksgiving.
Yeah, yeah.
Good for you. Good for you.
I tried to
Obviously, your
consume.
family's adapted to all this, huh?
What's that?
Your family's completely adapted and accepted that this is dad. This is what we do.
Very much, yeah. They're looking forward. We go once a year international trip for Ironman, and that's the best adventure for them. Let's say we're in New Zealand, we were skydiving with my boys, we're bungee jumping. They don't have age limit, so my Nicholas is 8 years old, Marty's 13. Well, 10. Marty's 13. They were skydiving over there, and they want to do the same thing with me. And so yeah, actually, they enjoy that lifestyle.
I love that, man.
We have
So
friends.
Saul, what's your background? Where are you from?
I'm from Lithuania. I came here when I was 18. I wanted to trade options on a stock exchange, but then eventually ended up in real estate. I started as an appraiser, and I started selling real estate and rehabbing properties, and then started investing. And so right now we're fixing, flipping, wholesaling, and holding industrial property, commercial.
Oh, industrial. No
Yeah.
kidding. So break down the models. What do we have? You have real estate. You have investing.
Yeah.
You have title company, right? No.
We have a small title company with
Okay.
that we write policies only on our deals that we sell. We don't represent, let's say, other agents or attorneys or anything like that.
Sure. It's all
But,
internal. Sure.
and my wife, she's running a small origination shop. So technically, it's our small business. She's running that. My main focus is fixing, flipping, and wholesaling in Chicagoland market.
Okay.
And also I'm sourcing for commercial industrial deals. And we have 3 industrial properties in Chicagoland area that we stabilize, and we're keeping them. Single families and 1 to 4 units, we're pretty much, fixing, flipping them. And I'm selling all my rentals actually right now. I don't know if it's right or wrong, but I've decided that like in March, that I'm disposing everything.
Got it. So naturally, let's go back to what we talked about, right? The last 3 months. Were you down? Were you up? Did you pivot?
We had to pivot, obviously. I think like everyone else, in terms of production, we down, but we stabilized our net. Finally, last month, I got a P&L from our bookkeeper, so we stabilized. March was really down based on the revenue because most of our closings were pushed or canceled. So we canceled our marketing from like 80,000 probably to probably close to 20, even less. So we didn't have to fire anyone.
No, that's good. That's good.
We still have the same staff. Well, I'll take it back actually. We let go 2 contractor. Well, our subs that are 1099, they're not technically our employees,
Right.
but we're doing so much work there.
Right.
We have 90% of their work from us. So we had to let go 2 contractor crews. But we kept the ones who was like for 10 years. But in terms of operation salespeople, we didn't have to fire anyone. So in terms of production, we went from like 7 to 10 deals to probably 5 to 7 a month.
Okay.
And
that was good sustainability for the time being.
Yeah.
Now that things are opening up here and there, what's the prospects for Q3?
We just opened the Minneapolis market. We just launched Minneapolis market.
Nice.
Which we closed Indianapolis. We just sold our last property in Minneapolis. We looking in Minneapolis. No, but to be honest with you, I'm not saying it's a COVID or Corona situation. I don't know if I want to do more transactions this year or even next year. And there's
In Minneapolis?
even in Chicagoland or here. So pretty
Really?
much my thought process, yeah, I mean, there's two ways to grow it, right? One way to grow it, you can go what it's called, linear, or you can go Amazon model, when you just keep increasing the production, meaning you keep increasing the transaction counts, but inevitably, your margin is shrinking because your operation costs are increasing and stuff like that. Or the other way to do it, you can go, yeah, you can go kind of horizontal or increasing the margin route. I mean, and I was told, about this example. So that would be like McKinsey model, right? McKinsey is the etalon for consulting, and they would charge you $1 million for a solution, right? No, they don't have many million clients like Amazon. They have handful of clients, but for the solution, they would charge, you know CEO for a call of $10 million, right? So, and the same thing for me. I don't know if I want to increase, go from 5 to 10 transactions, and increase from, let's say, 100 to a 300x. Instead of that, no, I would think, let's say, going on a much higher margins, which forces me to increase my skill level to do a better deal, to do bigger deals or better deals with bigger margin, with probably with a shorter time frame.
It sounds like this wasn't something that just came up. You've been thinking about this for a while, huh?
I've been doing yeah, it's been probably for 3 years, but it's finally coming to fruition because I had years when we had 500 transactions. It was in different space when we were selling REO properties for Fannie Mae and Freddie Mac. We sold probably close to 500 properties. Um, but it's not more revenue than you're doing 50 to 70 flips. It's still the same thing, right?
It really is. No, it's
It's
funny you
still,
say that because it kind of is. You're doing a lot of work or the
yeah.
same level of work, and you're not growing, right?
Yep.
So, and I agree with you. And I've seen that. I saw that over the last 10 years, how the transitions of that first recession and obviously what we're about to get into
Yeah.
here. I see a lot of things repeating themselves, about to repeat themselves. And obviously, you and I went through that part, so we're prepared for it. But the idea of here we go again, right?
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of people watching this right now that are probably thinking, who never went through the first one, saying, "Oh, I'm gonna take full advantage." Go for it. Take full advantage. Do what you got to do. Just set yourself up and have an actual foundation so you can actually take advantage of it and not just coast like we're talking about.
Yeah.
Then there's guys like us and a lot of our peers that we know. We're like, yeah, it's coming, but this isn't what I wanted, right? For us, especially going into like the app world, we went into the tech world. We were building an app and all these things, and I'm like, all right, cool. Here we go with this, and we get to ride this out for a while again. And it's like an old skill set, right? I'm not a contractor anymore, right? I haven't been a contractor in years, but I can easily take advantage of the market if I wanted to. Put together a contracting company, go call the hedge funds and say, "Give me all your paperwork, right? Give me every sheet of property that you absorb." But I don't want to do that. That wasn't part of the plan. So I feel you on that, and I've been thinking about the same thing as of, I would say, late last year. I was thinking about like really wanting this SaaS software to really come out, and it actually came out right before the COVID issue. And I said, well, this is a good time for virtual technology, clearly, and it's a blessing in disguise because it launched during COVID and it's been successful thus far. And we've got a lot of good partnerships and a lot of good users, but that's the route I'm trying to go now, and help the industry in that route. But I feel you in terms of what you're looking at, because we were doing the same thing. You're almost working just as hard. You're treading the same water for almost the same profit, if not a little bit more. So why do that? You've already been doing that.
Yeah. I think what I realized is that there is so much teaching from all the business gurus, right? That you'll set up a business, you'll set up a process, and you'll let other people run it, right? And it's so much easier to run it without innovation. Let's say take REOs or hedge fund rehabs, right? Because there is one process and you teach everyone else, and it seems like company is running by itself.
Uh,
Reality is that no industry is the same. That process will be the process only for a few years. That will change, and you will have to reinvent anyways. The other way to do it, instead of going after that one thing that you can replicate, okay, you do one thing and you innovate again for let's say we had a goal to be at 20,000 margin, and we did it. Now then we had a goal to be at $100,000 transaction. We did it, and we have a goal right now to do at 250,000 on transactions. We know we're going to reach it, but you can't set up a process. You have to innovate as an owner. You have to
Always.
innovate as an
Always.
owner. And when I realized that, you probably can, and I was at the stage when you can set up and let it go for 2-3 years, and then it goes to shit anyways because the market changes or whatever changes, and that system doesn't work anymore, and you have to create another system. So I'm like, instead of trying lying myself that this is forever cash flow, I set it up and I can, I don't have to. If somehow it became cool, right, to set up and let it go, let people run it.
Yeah, right.
And everyone believes it's possible. No, it's not possible. It's only for time being. So whoever say, I've been there like 5 to 7 times, right?
Well, you and I know a lot of the same people that are always talking about this, working
Yeah.
in or out of your business. And since day one, I've always said, listen, I don't mind doing both.
It's possible, but show me for 10 years who did it.
You can't.
No,
You can't.
unless the market is giving the same thing for 10 years, but innovation will
Unless you as the entrepreneur yourself are content with where you're at and you want to be that same spot, same level, same profitability, same problems and challenges for the rest of your career. Then yes, take yourself out of the equation and coast. But nobody wants that. Nobody wants that shit. I don't care who they are. They're not going to sit there and say, I'm 38 years old. I'm happy making X amount and I'm going to do this the rest of my life. I'm sure there are some, but I would say they're very few compared to who actually are out there trying to be innovative and trying to have that ingenuity and playing the market, right? Playing the market, the evolvement game. And that requires you to be in your business, period, end of story.
Yeah, and plus another thing, once you go to that model and everything's set up and easy, what you're missing the most part, you're missing feeding yourself. I think most entrepreneurs like the innovation and risking part and sometimes succeeding on taking the risks. And you play just only the same sandbox, which has very predictable outcome and just giving you cash, which eventually, everyone, I don't be too philosophical, but for the most part,
Saul,
of course, cash is the fire, but there's so much more fire in innovation and accomplishment. And if you don't do that, then it just becomes like, why do I do this?
No, I agree. So you remember we were consulting a lot of companies, and we still do that. And one of the biggest things, one of the biggest challenges that I saw with a lot of the consults that we did, and a lot of people is oftentimes the owner was trying to take they're trying to take themselves out of the day-to-day. I'm okay with that. I don't mind that. But you really can't do that, like you said, if you don't have a system and a process in place to even do that, right? Then you got to hand that off. Right? Who's going to run it then in your place? What kind of automation system, if at all, do you have to help run it on an automatic basis, right? And then the reality is you do have to step in. I mean, you built it, right? You're the one studying and reading, watching CNBC, studying the market, reading the news. That's you because it's your baby. And now you have employees and your employees depend on you and your leadership. There's a lot of things that happen in business that I think a lot of investors in our industry that are up and coming, right? They're not prepared. They're not looking at all the things that are going to come their way, the many, many challenges. They're not impossible. Nothing's impossible, but they're challenges. And you get through them faster and more effective if you're prepared, but they don't know how to prepare, right? They're being misguided that this is easy, and it's not easy. And they're also being misguided that you can make this business work by itself without your input. Please, man. You name somebody that you and I both know who's not in the grind every day. Regardless of COVID, we're all in it. That's what we do.
Well, I know people, but it was only the fact is only temporarily. Meaning, I was in that game, but it's only temporarily because as soon as something shifts like COVID, unless you have someone who can innovate radically in your company, that you may pull it off. But if not, you have to go back and rebuild the system.
Yeah.
Everybody. The other way around, you can just radically innovate yourself and go from I'm not going anymore for $20,000 margin. I'm going for $200,000 margin. And there's no way to I have to do it. Let's say I'm talking per deal, right? So that's completely different mindset. That's completely different.
I'm with you. I'm totally with you because once this COVID thing happened, everybody's all in, right? I can't tell you. I mean, from personal experience, I made sure that my company was 100% online in 3 weeks. I had no choice, right? I didn't trust anybody else to do that, right? So I have to do that. You have to do that. Mostly everybody we ever spoke to has to do that. Anybody I've had on this show is like, I'm back in my business, dude, working harder than I've ever worked in my life. And that's okay, because I'm telling them, I'm like, doesn't that feel good to a certain degree, though? Because it's opening your eyes to things that maybe you pushed off for a while.
Yeah.
I know personally there's a lot of things I pushed off like this. I've always wanted to do like a video cast for years. I just didn't have the time for it. That wasn't in my wheelhouse at the time. Now I was home. I put everything online. It's all automated. You buy online, order online, learn online, right? I'm like, all right, cool. Now what I can do? And I went through my list of things I've always wanted to do in the business, and here we are. So this isn't easy to do. I had to learn all this, right? I don't have a production company that I'm hiring anymore. I went lean too. So I have to learn about these setups and all the lighting and the wiring. And it was exciting, right? To learn something new for a larger purpose, knowing that we would come out of quarantine and it's back to real business, right? But this is just another value add, I guess, another service, if you will, to be able to do this. But more importantly, to your point, I would agree 100% that everybody who thinks they can step out of their business, it's absolutely temporarily. And I think people should look at that and plan for that. Like, okay, I'm gonna step out, but for how long and where am I going?
Yeah.
And do like your risk analysis, right? Look at your KPIs and say, anticipate at which point you probably should intervene, or how often should you just step in and have a meeting or a phone call or send me some reports, or I want to hear what's going on. Get your pulse back on it, right?
Mm-hmm.
I think that's extremely important. And I don't know, what do you think is going to happen with that ideology now? Now that for the most part, the country's open and people are getting back to work to a certain degree, and at least in our industry. Do you think?
Okay, so I mean, I can speak for myself, probably for a couple other people I know, right? So let's say for me, this is I'm actually in my office right now. It's the first time I think, well, and maybe the second time I came in here. But look, my office is completely, there's no one here. No,
It's empty, huh?
Is John, no, actually John is there. One of our managers is here. I'm showing it's empty, but we didn't lost. I'm on a podcast. I just want to show the. Oh yeah, no worries, all good. Yeah.
He's like, yes. He's like, what do you need? What do you need?
Yeah. Yeah, and we didn't lose any steam, any momentum. We just changed our huddles to 9 o'clock in the morning, 10 o'clock. 9 o'clock in the morning, we get together like for 10 minutes. I have one-on-one report with my main manager on Thursdays, and we have a pipeline meeting with attorneys and other folks at 12 o'clock. So we have like 4 meetings right now. Everything is online. But my point of the matter is that this office, I mean, it was massive build out. Like we built it out like I think $70,000.
Remember you told me.
We don't need it. We don't need it. And the fact is that I was conditioned myself for like 10 years. I was showing up like in a sports jacket and in a slacks, and that's
I know.
I had my uniform. I had to do rah. I have to be here all the time. Just tap everyone on the shoulder. And it's like in a matter of 2 months, like it's not my man. I mean, there is a way actually to do rah differently, and maybe it's not as effective, but it's not so drastically worse.
But don't you think some of that rah over the years built why you don't have to be that way now? It's almost like you socialized them. They learned your process. That's a good thing.
Yeah.
They followed your leadership to
Probably.
a point where they just know they got to do their job because they respect you.
Yeah. So, but come back to the question, what changed? No, I don't even know, if we'll need that office long term. Right? That's probably what, I don't know, like $60,000 a year.
Let me tell you something. Everybody I've spoken to is getting rid of their office, or they already have. I'm not even kidding. People are like, and they had staff like you, and they're like, "Man, I got rid of my office because they realized." I think like where you're going with this, but I think people, including myself, you get anxiety when you're not in the close quarters of being able to watch each other work. It's weird, but that's the mentality of the workforce. It's the culture of corporate, right? They beat that in your brain, and then there's maybe a lack of trust. Like if this person's at home, are they really working? Do they really give a shit? Are they out partying? Are they having lunch? Are they having mimosas? Right?
Yeah.
You think of all these things. And then COVID hits and it humanizes everything all over again. And you're like, you know what? I get that your kids are in the background and I'm trying to have a meeting, right? I get it. I get that your kids want your attention because they're also home from school. I get that, you do have the freedom now to because you can't go to the office. So you are going to kind of do what you want to do. So you almost don't want to rock the boat. You want to encourage it almost, where it's like, listen, let's set up our time. We all have things that we need to do. And for them to continue to be productive is a testament to your leadership over the years. The rah-rah is why they're still productive for you now. So you did a good job.
Probably. Yeah, probably.
Probably no. That's a yes.
Yeah.
Give yourself some credit. Go ahead. Go ahead. Give yourself some love.
Thank you. Appreciate that.
But yeah, you might get rid of the office, huh?
Well, it's not decided, but it doesn't seem like, it was really so imperative to be every single day in the office for everyone. So I had this mindset that salespeople has to be in close proximity. So if someone needs help, needs, tell this and that, just in terms of communication. But no, we went kind of a Voxer route and Zoom route, and it's okay. And plus, how much we saving right now on commute, and we started buying homes over the phone and stuff like that. So yeah, we found a way. And again, that was innovation. You'd say I had to step in.
Dude, I've got to give you got to come after this is sidestep. Do a demo with me and my partner on our app. Our app will run your office for you and all your construction. And that might help you. So you're all in one communication portal at all times. And it's for times like these. So the entire company is run virtually. And we did that because construction, we needed the office to talk to the field and the field to talk to the office. We built it so robustly that everybody in the transaction, meaning your entire team, no matter what they do, no matter what their SOP is, can jump into the communications and talk about anything specific. And that always keeps people working. So you'll always be able to see the activity log all day, every day, 24/7 to see who's doing what when, because it's timestamped. Just throwing that out there.
Yep.
I'm trying to save you money. Get rid of that office.
Yeah. It's going to be cheaper than that, probably, for sure.
Oh, yeah. It'll be cheaper than your lease. You kidding me?
Yeah.
But anyway, just sidestep. But I think what you're doing is a good thing. Let's pivot a little bit here and talk future, right? You think about possibly getting rid of the office. Don't know yet. What positives have you taken from the last 14 weeks? What has changed forever in you, in the way you operate as a husband, father, and as a businessman?
I mean, I'm probably going to go too philosophical here, but
hey, this is borderline appropriate. You can say whatever you want.
I think I really one main thing struck me that I kind of knew that this rat race, keep growing, more volume, more marketing, more houses, more transactions, and at one point, where's that point? No one knows. I'll maybe relax or do something else, which in my mind, I'm never gonna ever retire. That's my mindset, right?
Sure.
I just don't want to retire. I just want to keep creating or do something.
Sure.
So what forced me right now, this COVID right now, I definitely started spending more time with my family, and I started walks every single day. I'm less stressed, and I see that the way I was running those habits were they're not really so good habits that I thought. Let's say, I thought my routine is helping to to build the business, faster business, more production, more houses. But then, for what? Really, and I really realizing that I'm not really after more houses, more marketing, more money, but I really enjoy of creating whatever that's creating a business, or doing a nice rehab, or building a new house. Right now, I'm working on a couple of new construction projects. I'm just only in my mind. I'm contemplating on doing modular houses. We have 40,000 square foot vacancy in one of the more industrial houses. We're thinking to manufacture some parts of the modular houses. Have some conversations with Chicago officials, will it be allowed? And it's up completely in the air, and it doesn't give me any money. And 3 months ago, it would be such a waste of time. It's not. It's not best use of my time. It's not valid productive activity. But no, have you. It gives me juice. I don't care that I'm not gonna buy this house while I'm talking about those ideas with someone, but I like creating it. Whether I'm succeed, I don't know. But if it happens, that's great. and possibly will give you money, possibly not, but I know we'll enjoy the process, right? So I think it shifted my permanently the focus, that I was eliminating that piece of me, like, what I enjoy creating, I enjoy building business, I enjoy rehabbing the house, or building something new. It still was the kind of, the highest target is, okay, that's the goal, that's the quarterly goal, always a little higher, a year a little higher, more houses, more production, more people, more marketing, 2 channels, 5 channels, and
Yeah,
this
yeah.
kind of, you just go, 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 go. I mean, and it's like, well, but where is that journey part where I like it? So
No, no,
right
that's
now I'm just like,
fire.
yeah, right now I'm like, okay, I'm gonna spend time on this, and if I'm not gonna make money on it, I'm totally cool. I'm totally cool with that.
And there's growth in that.
Yeah,
So what you said is you grew in the last 14, 15 weeks. And I think most Americans did, you know, especially in business. I mean, personally, I'd be lying if I didn't say I was anxious in the beginning, going, what the hell is about to go down, right?
yeah.
And I'm a guy that used to suffer from anxiety attacks, right?
Hmm.
Because I was grinding myself so damn hard years ago, and I wasn't taking care of myself, and I'd ballooned up to like 315 pounds, bro. I just
Oh man.
wasn't. I was just working, 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 and it was just terrible, right? And I started having panic attacks. I thought I was having heart attacks. Doctor's like, no, dude, you're killing yourself. You need to stop working as hard, take care of yourself again, all these things. So I did that. And I started finding a place of peace. And I would say that was probably when I transitioned from the Garcilaso group of contracting into the Rehab Depot of consulting. When I started being able to help people, I got more gratitude. I felt good about what I was doing because I was helping in a different way. And I got to really know the client. It wasn't just a service now. I got to know them. And that started helping me breathe. That started helping me take the time to appreciate things. But I'll tell you this, I've never had an appreciation for life more than I've had in the last 14, 15, 16 weeks. I wake up in the morning, my kids are there every day, right? I got the twins that are 5, they'll be 6. I wake up, I set up a garden in the front yard, a sanctuary, because I need that. People don't realize, and I shouldn't say it, but Big Bag Roddy loves flowers. I love to do landscaping in my house. I love flowers. It's something I find peaceful, and I love watering my plants. That's my thing. Whatever, right? Judge me if you want.
No, that's awesome, man.
Yeah, so I created. I got a water fountain in the front. I got the bird baths. I got bird feeders, flowers everywhere. Every morning I wake up, I'll grab my coffee. I go sit on the porch before I get on my bike, right? And I sit there and I just enjoy the sunrise because it's quiet. I see people jogging through the neighborhood. It's beautiful, right? And I sit there and go, damn, dude, I never did this before. I never did this before. And it sets up my day dramatically different in a positive way.
Yeah,
Totally. Because I'm the guy that would wake up and go, where's my phone?
yeah,
Right? Who doesn't? And now I'm like, where's my coffee? I'm like, where's my coffee? I hear the birds chirping. Sometimes I'll still hear owls. And I'm like, this
yeah,
is perfect. And
yeah.
it sets your mind in a zone where you're like, all right, I'm ready for the day now. And then you have a new structure, right? The structure was get up, maybe you eat, maybe you don't, hit the gym, hit the streets.
Yep,
My life is not like that anymore. Not even remotely close. That's like history books.
yep.
My day now is so simple and it's wonderful, and I'm grateful because, like you said, I have a new appreciation for my family. I have a new appreciation for myself. But more importantly, I've gotten to focus and sharpen the tools in the business and
Yeah,
advance. I think actually for us, we advanced. And believe it or not, I hate to say that because I know a lot of you out there are struggling, but this is what this show is all about, to listen to our insight in terms of we're just being honest. Like, this is just honest talk, man. And the reality is, I think we further advanced ourselves as a company because of COVID. And I'm never going to use the word grateful because people die from this and people are going to continue dying from this. But the reality is, I'm grateful that we were able to advance our systems and our process further. So when we're really out of this thing, whenever that is, we're firing on all cylinders again. But I will never, ever go back to working as hard as I did. There's just no need for it anymore.
yeah, yeah.
Without question, there's just no need. You don't realize how unhappy you actually are. Um, Even though you're always putting a smile on the face and making other people laugh, and you know me, I love to have a good time. But ultimately, you sit there sometimes and go, "Oh my God, I didn't realize how tired I was." how tired I was. My body needed this. My mind needed this. And more importantly, the people around me needed this.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, for
So,
sure.
what does 2021 look like for you in terms of Ironmans, in terms of what are your kids up to?
Yeah.
I mean, obviously, I have a funny feeling you're getting rid of the office. I can see it in your eyes. When you're the kind of man, and I know you well enough, when you say it, when you even speak it, it's gonna happen.
Yeah. So 2020. So in terms of Ironmans, I'm scheduled for August 1st, Boulder, 70.3. So I'm going a couple months. Did the race, one more race. Actually, my wife is racing. Me
Oh, that's
too.
cool.
She did a couple. Uh, so 2021, we think if it's gonna open up, I usually go on an international trip with Ironman. So we're thinking about Patagonia, to race in Patagonia next year. Um,
Now, educate me. Patagonia, where?
that's the Chile and Argentina border.
Got it.
Chile and Argentina. I like I like those races where it's not in a
We're from
big
an island,
metropolis.
so we got island mentality. So we're from an island, so I just
Yeah,
I make sure I know where Patagonia is.
that's Puerto Rico.
Yeah.
Yeah, actually, I want to do Puerto Rico as well. Probably next year. They have a very nice race over there too.
Outstanding.
In terms of business, I don't think we're gonna expand more on single family flips. We're probably gonna be around, I don't know, 700 deals a year. And I think I will be, my goal is to take down 3 commercial properties, whether industrial or retail. I know, we're not gonna. I know everything is retail is bad, but I have another aspect to it. So 3 commercial properties. That's where I'm working myself. That's where I'm growing myself. I have kind of a compass now where I'm going. Is by 2043, we own, operate, or improve 25 million square feet by 2043, where people like to live or work. That's kind of that's when we get. Right now, we're going about 100,000 square feet a year. I want to get ourselves to about 1 million square feet, where we improve or we renovate or we develop a year. Right now, at about 100,000. I don't think it's possible to go in single families to 1 million, but in commercial space, definitely it's possible.
No, good for you. That's it's funny you said because um, Fernando Angelucci, right?
Yeah.
So he and I are going to be, I'm going to be helping him. He's building these storage units, right, from
Mm-hmm.
the ground up and whatnot. And
Yeah.
those are massive, $6, $7, $8 million projects, and you're
Mm-hmm.
talking 100,000 square feet, right?
Mm-hmm.
So for us as a company, we haven't project managed in years. We consult companies on how to build their model. But
Yeah.
one of the things I said I would do now and in 2021 is I would join investors on their bigger projects and help them provide that oversight and structure and make sure everything needs to be where it needs to be, because there's a lot of money to be lost there. Naturally, the bigger you go, the more risk there is, but also the rewards there. So it's funny you say that, because that's the route we're going as well. The residential stuff, we made our bones, and I'll never look down on it. That's our claim to fame with single family forever. But yeah, I mean, we're going the same route, where if we get involved as a company with any kind of consulting or owner's rep, if you will, it's on large commercial. That's kind of because you could take your time with a large project like that, because those things take time.
Yeah.
And they're very detail oriented, and you're using a much better contractor that has their own systems and processes, and that makes life a lot easier. And at that level, you actually have a budget. It's a whole different ballgame of construction. So
Yeah.
we've grown in that area as well. But no, man, we're just, like I said, same thing for us. We're just going to be, our rehab project management app is something that's needed in the industry. We're going to keep pushing that and partnering with those individuals to run their organizations. And I'm going to take this big ass bravado that I have, and I'm going to take it into the tech game, and I'm going to be disruptive. And I'm going to poke around and see what kind of friends I can make and what kind of enemies I can make, and have some fun with that too. Yeah. And I'm telling them, I come from REI, guys. It's sink or swim there. I don't know what it's like in the tech world. I'm not a coder. I don't know, but we're going to have some fun.
Yeah.
All right, brother. This is what I like to do. I want you to give advice to the next guys that are watching right now. What would Saul say right now, especially if your sons were listening, if your kids were listening and they're getting into business? What's the advice you would say right now?
Advice on my kid getting into business?
No. If you're, I was saying, like, as an analogy, if your kids were watching and they're about to get into business and they're struggling through COVID and they're struggling with what's happening in today's society, what's your advice? You're a successful businessman.
Yeah. What is my advice?
I put you on the spot because I know a lot of people do not ask you these questions.
Yeah.
I think you have such enough insight that people want to hear it.
It's probably a combination going to be of two things. One is find a successful, driven entrepreneur who who would be willing to have a student and share share his knowledge. So pretty much just find a mentor, but not to find a mentor like in terms of just buy a cassette of books and find I had in my career I had a number of individuals who kind of took me under their wing and shared their knowledge, what they learned over 40-50 years. So find a person like that, and then and so learn that mindset, and then have some kind of belief what you want to accomplish that, and just don't listen to any gurus, just go after it. So two things. So first you need to learn the mindset and things and skills, know what other people use to become successful in business, and then come up with your idea and just go after that idea, no matter what, if you're going to succeed or not. So it's cliche probably, but that's what I would suggest that to my son to do it.
I got you, man. You better be his mentor, obviously.
Yeah.
No, I agree. I mean, at the end of the day, that's what it is. Actually, I want to thank you because every time I've asked you to meet or go over something, you've always taken the time for me as well. So I want to thank you for that because that's pretty stand up, because I know you're busy as hell and I respect your time. You know me, dude. If there's anything you ever need, you just call me. Anything you want me to look over on the construction, just call me. We'll go get lunch. I know you're going to go to Maggiano's. I get it. You're going to get your big ass chicken tape, whatever the hell that is. It's a half a chicken. I get it. I'll be there. Reach out anytime. Tell the world how to get a hold of you.
My best way to reach me, probably email saul@ibuyil.com. saul@ibuyil.com. If you have any leave or industrial property where it's too big for you to know what to do with it, send it over to me. I'll look at it, and if we can take it down, partner or whatever, I'm looking for more industrial properties, anything between 10,000 and 100,000 square feet, between $1 million and $10 million in the Chicagoland area, pretty much.
Nice. Well, if anybody needs to get a hold of Saul and you don't remember his information, I'll put it down on here and I'll upload this to YouTube here in a few minutes as well. Get a hold of me. I'll get a hold of Saul, or I'll connect you guys. I'm sure Saul's got his buying criteria for that all presented and ready to go, because I know Saul and that's how he thinks. And I'm sure he's smiling because it's true. And you guys, go get it. It's time. Quarantine's over. Just be careful out there. Hug your babies, kiss your babies. I'll see you guys soon. Saul, thank you very much, brother.
Thanks. Goodbye.